The Disowned Heiress Part 3. The article remained open on my laptop. Every word felt like poison, not because it attacked me. That part didn't matter. I had spent years being misunderstood. What truly made my blood boil was seeing my mother's name dragged through the mud. A woman who had been dead for over 10 years, a woman who had devoted her entire life to this family. I slowly closed the laptop. There was only one place I needed to go. The Sinclair mansion. Half an hour later, my car stopped outside the familiar gates. The guards immediately recognized me. One of them looked nervous. "Miss Sophia, I didn't even look at him. Open the gate." He hesitated. "Mrs. Sinclair instructed us." I raised my eyes. The cold look on my face made him swallow the rest of his sentence. Within seconds, the gate opened. I drove inside. As soon as I entered the mansion, every servant froze. Some lowered their heads, others quietly walked away. No one dared stop me. I walked straight toward the living room, exactly as I expected. Everyone was there: my father, my grandfather, Victoria, Emily. Almost like they had been waiting for me. Without saying a word, I threw my phone onto the table. The article was still displayed on the screen. "Explain." Victoria only glanced at it before pretending to be surprised. "Sophia, I don't know what you're talking about." I ignored her. Instead, I looked directly at my father. "This article contains private information. Information only our family knows. My mother's medical history, our family events, even old photographs. Someone from this house leaked them." "Who?" My father looked at the phone. Then at me. Finally, he sighed. "Sophia, you've already embarrassed this family enough. Don't make another scene." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked who leaked the information. No answer. Victoria slowly stood. "You've misunderstood. We're the victims too. I've already contacted the newspaper. They refused to remove it." Her acting deserved an award. If I hadn't already investigated, I might have believed her. I smiled, a cold smile. "Really?" I took out another phone. Ryan had already sent me everything. Bank transfers, payment receipts, IP addresses, anonymous accounts, everything. I threw the printed documents onto the table. "They traced the payment? The money came from your personal account?" Victoria's face changed, only for a second, then she recovered. "This is fake. You forged it." I laughed. "I've only had these documents for 20 minutes. I must be incredibly efficient." Emily suddenly stood. "Sophia, stop accusing my mother." I slowly turned toward her. "You should be careful. Some of those anonymous accounts belong to you." Her face turned pale. Before anyone could speak again, Victoria suddenly walked toward me. "You've gone too far." She raised her hand, trying to slap me. Instinctively, I caught her wrist, then gently pushed her away. I barely used any strength, yet she exaggerated the movement. She deliberately stumbled backward. Her shoulder struck the edge of the coffee table. She fell onto the floor. Immediately, tears appeared. "Ah, my arm." Emily rushed over. "Mom, Dad, Grandpa, look what she did." My father stood up so quickly that his chair nearly fell over. "Sophia," his voice echoed through the room. "Have you lost your mind?" I looked at Victoria, then at Emily. Perfect. Their coordination was perfect. They had even prepared this. Before I could explain, my grandfather slammed his cane against the floor. The loud sound silenced the room. "If you dare attack your family again, I'll officially remove your name from every Sinclair record. I'll make sure you never inherit a single cent." Something inside me finally snapped. I laughed. Not loudly, just enough to surprise everyone. "You'll remove my name?" I looked directly into his eyes. "You already did. You disowned me yesterday. You froze my accounts. You threw me out. What exactly is left to take?" Neither he nor my father answered. I pointed toward Victoria. "She framed me." I pointed toward the phone. "She insulted my mother." Then I looked at my father. "And you believed everything without investigating." He frowned. "There was evidence. There was fake evidence. There wasn't even an investigation. You taught me that every business decision requires verification. So why was I judged in one night for the first time?" My father avoided my eyes, then he quietly said, "If you apologize to Victoria, we can discuss everything calmly." I stared at him. "Apologize?" She tried to slap me. I defended myself. She fell. And somehow, "I'm the criminal." Victoria began crying even harder. "Adrian, I told you, she hates me. I've tried so hard." Emily hugged her mother. It's okay. I'll protect you. I almost admired their performance. Almost. Then my father said something I never expected. Sophia, Victoria is your mother now. The room became completely silent. I looked at him for several seconds, then I smiled. A genuine smile, not because I was happy, because at that moment, every remaining feeling I had toward this family disappeared. My mother died 10 years ago. No one, I repeat, no one, will ever replace her. I turned toward my grandfather. You once told me that the Sinclair family always protects its own. I believed you. I spent 12 years working for this family. I gave up friends. I gave up hobbies. I gave up my childhood. I thought all of it would help Sinclair Group become stronger. I looked around the mansion. And today, I finally understand. I was never family. I was only useful. I picked up my phone, walked toward the entrance. Just before leaving, my grandfather spoke one last time. If you leave this house today, don't ever think about returning. Without turning around, I answered. I wasn't planning to. Outside, I sat inside my car without starting the engine for nearly 5 minutes. Then my phone rang. Ryan, I answered immediately. I've finished. What did you find? He sighed. Sophia, the article was paid for by Victoria. I already guessed, but that's not all. My expression became serious. What else? They've contacted almost every major company. They're warning them not to hire you. They're saying you stole confidential information. They're threatening legal action against anyone who works with you. I slowly looked back at the mansion. So, they don't just want me gone. They want to make sure I never recover. Exactly. Ryan remained silent for a moment, then added, there's one more thing. They're planning another article. This time, they're accusing your late mother of manipulating your father into marriage. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. That woman, she had already taken my home, my family, my reputation. Now she wanted to erase my mother's dignity as well. Ryan spoke again. What are you going to do? I slowly smiled. A smile colder than any I'd ever worn before. They made one mistake. What? They think I'll waste my time proving I'm innocent. I won't. I'm going to become so successful that one day they'll wish they'd never forced me to leave. I ended the call, opened my contacts, scrolled past dozens of names, then stopped at one. Nathan Blackwell, my biggest rival, the only person who had competed with me for first place since childhood. I pressed the call button. 1 ring, 2 rings. 3 rings, he answered. Well, his familiar voice carried a hint of amusement. To what do I owe the pleasure, Sophia? I need a meeting, he chuckled. I've been waiting years to hear those words. When? Now, there was a brief silence. Then he replied, my office. 1 hour. I'll be there. As the call ended, I looked at the Sinclair mansion one last time, then started my car. If they wanted to erase Sophia Sinclair, fine, they could keep the name. From today onward, they would have to face the woman they created. Exactly 1 hour later, my car stopped in front of the tallest office building in the city, Blackwell Industries. For years, it had been Sinclair Group's biggest competitor. And for just as many years, Nathan Blackwell had been my biggest rival. The receptionist immediately stood when she saw me. Good afternoon, Miss Sinclair. I have an appointment with Mr. Blackwell. Of course. He's expecting you. She personally escorted me to the private elevator. Nothing had changed. Nathan liked efficiency. Anyone he invited upstairs was never kept waiting. The elevator doors opened onto the executive floor. Before I could take another step, someone rushed toward me. Sophia, I barely had time to react before Olivia Blackwell wrapped me in a hug. It's been forever. I couldn't help smiling. It hasn't even been a week. A week is forever. Her cheerful personality hadn't changed since childhood. Nathan, standing outside his office with a cup of coffee, sighed dramatically. Can you two finish the reunion? Some of us actually have a company to run. Olivia rolled her eyes. You're just jealous? I absolutely am. Nathan looked at me. Come in. His office overlooked almost the entire city. The view was impressive, not that I cared. Nathan noticed exactly where my eyes landed, not on the view. Not on the expensive furniture, but on the reports scattered across his desk. He smirked. I knew you'd look at the paperwork first. I've known you too long. So, he sat down. What brings the future CEO of Sinclair Group to my office? I calmly corrected him. Former future CEO. Nathan's smile disappeared for a moment. He simply studied my face. Then he nodded. So the rumors are true, they are. He folded his hands. What do you want? I want a job. Nathan blinked once, then laughed, not mockingly, just genuinely surprised. I spent years trying to recruit you. You rejected every offer. And today you walked into my office asking to work here. Ironic, I suppose. He became serious again. What position? Whatever position allows me to create the most value. Nathan leaned back. I expected a list of demands. I don't need demands. I need results. He stared at me for several seconds before smiling again. I'll make you executive strategy director. Olivia nearly dropped her coffee. Nathan, that's one of the highest positions in the company. I know, he looked at me. If anyone here deserves it, it's her. I nodded once. I accept. Nathan raised an eyebrow. That's it? No negotiation? You already offered more than I expected. He laughed again. I almost miss competing against you. You still can. Oh, I'm planning to build my own company someday. His grin widened. There she is. I was wondering when the real Sophia would return. There is one condition. Nathan nodded. I assumed there would be. When every contract between Blackwell Industries and Sinclair Group expires, don't renew them. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he opened a file on his tablet. Several long-term contracts appeared. Our last major agreement expires in 32 days. I know, if we don't renew, it'll hurt them. That's the point. Nathan looked at me for another moment. Then closed the file. Done. No new contracts. No extensions. No special favors. Olivia quietly watched both of us. You two really are terrifying. Nathan shrugged. It's only business. I nodded. Exactly. The meeting ended much sooner than I expected. As I stood to leave, Nathan called my name. Sophia, I stopped. You don't have to prove anything here. I hired you because you're the best, not because of sympathy. Not because of charity, simply because he believed that, for the first time in days, someone had judged me based on my ability, not on a rumor. I gave him a small nod. I won't disappoint you. I know. As soon as I stepped outside the building, my phone started vibrating, one call after another. They were from the companies where I owned shares. News spread quickly in our industry. Everyone already knew I had been removed from Sinclair Group. The first call came from Marcus Reed, founder of a logistics company. 5 years ago, when nobody believed in his business, I had quietly purchased 10% of it. Not because I wanted control, because I believed in him. Miss Sinclair, I heard what happened. I'm sorry. I'm fine. If there's anything we can do, there is. I'm listening. When your supply agreement with Sinclair Group expires, I want you to review every option before renewing. Marcus understood immediately. I'll have my team do that. The second call came from a pharmaceutical company. The third, a software company. The fourth, a renewable energy company. Years ago, most people thought I was wasting money buying minority shares in small businesses. Now, those investments gave me influence, not control. Influence, and in business, influence was often worth more. None of the CEOs asked for an explanation. None of them demanded favors. Each simply promised the same thing. We'll make our decision based on what's best for the company. That was all I wanted. Fair decisions, without pressure, without manipulation. That evening, I finally returned to Daniel's apartment. The first truly quiet moment since leaving home. I changed into comfortable clothes, made myself a cup of coffee, then opened my laptop. For the next several hours, I reviewed financial reports, industry trends, investment opportunities, potential office locations. If I was going to rebuild, I would do it properly. Just before midnight, Nathan sent me a message. Welcome to Blackwell Industries. Try not to outshine me too quickly. I smiled. Then replied, no promises. Almost instantly, another message appeared. It wasn't from Nathan. It was from Olivia. Dinner tomorrow, no business talk, just friends. I looked at the message for a long moment. Friends. I wasn't sure when I had last heard that word. Finally, I typed a single reply. I'd like that. The next morning, news spread through the business world. Blackwell Industries had quietly announced several strategic changes. Nothing dramatic, nothing suspicious, just routine adjustments. Most people ignored the announcement. I didn't. I recognized Nathan's style. He never attacked loudly. He simply moved his pieces across the board. By the time everyone realized what had happened, the game was already different. Looking out the apartment window, I watched the sunrise over the city. 3 days ago, I had believed my life was over. Now, for the first time, it felt like it was beginning again. The Sinclair family had taken away my home. They had taken away my title. They had even taken away my surname. But they had overlooked one thing. They never took away the person who had earned all of it, and that would make all the difference. To be continued.